I did my goodbyes to my family. Of course, I didn't tell everyone what I was doing. I just said I had work here. I tried to enjoy it, although back then I wasn't lucky enough to what you have today. We have internet, we have Viber, WhatsApp, FaceTime, free communication. I spent all my savings on calling on the landline while load because I missed my family so much. I was 21 years old when I made that decision to come back to the Philippines. I left my comfort home. I left my car. I left my parents, my family, and to come here to sleep in the same room as my 10-year-old cousin at the time on her floor. I did that for about 4 months, and I kept telling myself, "What's your why? What's your why? Just deal with it. Let her dogs eat all my shoes. It's okay." But sad story. When it came down to 6 months, I was part of the official candidates. But when it came down to being interviewed by the lawyers, they will ask your background, how long you've been here. They disqualified me because they said I've only been here for 6 months and it's supposed to be 1 year. I cried for 1 week. I called my mom, like, why did I do this? At that time, my mentor was Rene Salud, and he said, "Oh, Mafae, don't worry, you can just join Miss Philippines, this other pageant." And I'm like, no, that's not what I came here for, So lucky enough, there was other foreign candidates, so I wasn't alone. I guess Stella Araneta felt that, okay, it's the 40th year anniversary. Why would we disqualify all these women when they will make our show? So they allowed us. By that time, my feelings were like, whatever you want, God. I'm not gonna hold my breath. I'm not gonna expect anything else. I'm just gonna enjoy the journey, meet people, gain network, because that's how life is supposed to be, right? So long story short again, I was able to place Binibini Pilipinas World 2003, which I was not expecting because of course I aim for the universe, like my aunt. But what I was told is that because of my residency, I could not win that crown. Because when you go to Miss Universe, you have to be 1 year in the Philippines. So that's the reason why I was disqualified in the first place. But why am I telling you this story? Joining a pageant for me, my why was the platform I was telling you about, having that voice. And being here in front of you is an example. Ever since I was giving back during the charity works, I was able to talk to a lot of people that I was able to give awareness, even people from Australia. They would send money because I would tell them, okay, there's this charity, or there's these people that are in need. And it was an amazing journey. I didn't expect to stay here this long. I arrived 2002, and I told myself, okay, I will do my works with Binibini and then I'll go back to Australia. But God blessed me with meeting my husband, and now we have 5 beautiful children. And thank you so much. It's not easy, but I think works like this keep the values strong. Living simply, doing charity works, and it led me to meeting a great person, now a great friend of mine. He unfortunately cannot be here tonight, but he is the director of the James Mackay Foundation, Mark Lester Nico. I have to acknowledge him because he really introduced me to a great calling that I have been looking for. And not only for me, but I have brought my children to this experience. And actually, this is my daughter. This was just taken last year. And my son took this photo. He's there at the back. Nikki's right there, supporting me. And it's actually her birthday on Friday, but she's here always by my side. And give you a story of the first Christmas party that we were invited to, the Philippine National School for the Blind. I think Nikki was 5, possibly 5. And I asked my kids, can you guys go through your things, your toys, whatever you're not using, books, gather it, because we will go and we will donate it, you know? And of course, they didn't know what to expect. And when I brought them to the school, you would see all sorts of different, I guess, appearance of children. You know, this was the first time I've seen, I think there was 100 plus children who were blind, totally blind. Some had multiple disabilities, because when you are blind, sometimes, you know, your mind goes also. So for me, of course, I was used to that environment. My children, I know, were scared, because this was the first time they have seen different kinds of humans. And later on, you will see also where Nikki actually made a special friend. You know, we saw a little girl there. She was probably, well, you're 5, she was probably 8, but she was half the size of Nikki, and her cheek was extended. There was no crease, there was no eyeball. It was eyebrows and extended cheek. So of course, my child has never seen another human look like that. Asked me a very difficult question after all the experience I've had from being part of the beauty pageant. She asked me, "Mommy, why did God make her like that?" Here I am panicking, God, how do I answer this question? Oh my gosh. So I prayed for a second, and then I blurted out my answer. Nikki, God made you special, and God made her special, and you guys were supposed to meet so you could learn from each other. And I was just, she was like, okay. I was like, oh my gosh, I did it. But fast track, you know, she was very innocent. And I believe that a lot of humans, or a lot of adults, have that same mentality. And they carry it out when they see someone that's not normal. I mean, I'm pretty sure you can see, we can be guilty with it. I mean, you know, I'm not trying to pinpoint anyone, but honestly, when I brought my children to the school and allowed them to experience giving back, or being with people who may be different, they accepted them throughout the years. And now Nikki just holds that girl's hand. You know, when she first met her, she told me, I want to give her one of my Barbies. She had a Barbie, and I'm like, wow, you brought your Barbies? You know how expensive those are? And you're gonna give it away right now? And she's like, Mom, I don't even use it. So I was like, okay, fine. So I called the mom over, and I said, you know, my daughter wants to give your daughter a Barbie. And this was Nikki. We got closer, and I said, here, give it to her. She was shaking. And this is a 5-year-old showing her fear, but at the same time showing her love for this other human. You know, and that's the thing that I want to share with everyone here, is that we can give back. We just allow that time or understanding or educate ourselves. Be part of the community that wants to sacrifice a little time. You know, it doesn't even have to be money. It's just that time of understanding why another person is like that. And then perhaps you can just spread that awareness. And that is the main reason why I'm here today. You know, I just want to share you what I have been doing. We started volunteering, my family and I have been volunteering since 2012. And I think after 4 years, the founder found that, you know, I had the passion, I had the love, which I totally do. And he asked, can you help us? Can you help us spread awareness? And then he appointed me marketing, PR and marketing director for the James Mackay Foundation. And I took on the reins and just went for it. So I want to share with you some of the activities and events that we have organized as a team. And I call it fundraising. Because when you say fund, it's like people like, okay, she wants money. But for me, honestly, I want to have an experience. I want you to enjoy. You know, it's like you buying a candy from a store. When you pay, you get the candy, yum, right? It's sweet. This one naman, is you're experiencing a fun activity. At the same time, you're sharing love. You're sharing a little kindness. And it's not even you don't even feel it because you're enjoying yourself, right? So allow me to share with you some of the images that we have from our activities. This one is from our last year's Christmas party. So we do gift giving as one of our activities with them, and I love this photo because I don't ask my children to help anymore, or before. They initiate. My 3 older boys, Nico's 18, Mike's 16, and Moses is 13. We give them so much, like a sack of rice. Of course they cannot see it, of course they cannot carry it. My boys are there, just holding them, carrying their stuff to their chair. And to me, it makes me melt because obviously I've given them something that they will carry on for the rest of their lives. And that's what I'm excited about, the satellite group. You know, you guys are young. You guys are obviously the next, the future of this group. And it's up to you to carry on the works that they have put forward already, right? As you can see, I was still pregnant with my youngest son. And this was the time where, 2015, I invited some of my friends. As you can see, this is the president at the time. It's the PMAP, it's Philippine Models Association of the Philippines, which I'm part of. And Rafa is the president there. Next to him is Kylie Versosa. Other models, Jennifer Hammond, and this was the year before they won. And I believe in throwing goodness to the universe, and it returns to you tenfolds, you know? And this means so much to us because they took the time, you know. We didn't expect them to bring anything, to give any money. We just wanted them to be there so that they can share, they can spread the word on what can be done. And I'm sorry, right here, this is Mr. James Mackay. He is the one that has been supporting the school and PWDs in the provinces for over 13 years by himself. And funny story there, when I first met him, I thought he was the principal of the school. He was so down to earth, he was just so low key that I didn't know that he was actually a very successful businessman. And he welcomed my family with open arms. You know, you will see through the images that my kids actually grow through these activities. This is our first dinner in the dark. This is one of our exciting activities that we encountered because it's an experience. It's an experience where you dine and you are blindfolded. And it's very quick, you know. It's you're outside, before you come in the restaurant, we already put the blindfold on you, and then you walk in the restaurant, we sit you down so that you can get the full experience of being totally blind. You know, we've had experience people complaining. One of our events, a lady was complaining about her eyelashes, and I don't mind that. I really don't mind people complaining because they will realize after the experience where I'm convincing them, please keep your blindfolds on for the whole experience so that you can feel what our friends feel each and every day. You know, this was our first one, so we're trying. We have our first blindfold was just a cloth. We were just trial and error. So that was our first dinner in the dark at Ramen Metro. You know, it was a fun group because there was a lot of testimonies afterwards where people really did not even eat the food anymore because it was just that it touched their soul, you know. This is our second one, which is held downstairs, and as you can see, we upgraded our blindfolds. And we had a sponsor for that, so we were very thankful. During the event, we have the students serenade the guests, as well as give testimonies. This is Miss Grace. She's now a music teacher. She was one of our, we have 2 scholars. She was one of them. And she has now she gives back now by being part of the school as a music teacher. Our other scholar is Mr. Ronald. He actually majored in English and competed internationally and won some awards. The story with Mr. Ronald was so amazing because he lived in Tagaytay. And he traveled to his college, which was TUP. He traveled each and every day just with his cane. Nobody helped him. And when he studied, he asked his friend to read the textbook and record himself, and he will take that home and he will listen to it. So imagine the technology now. You know, the phone will speak, the computer will speak, but when he went to school, he had none of that. And he graduated with honors. So for us, you know, that really touches me deeply, because simple things in life we complain about. For him, he graduated without complaining. And I'm sure all he had to do was trust life. Trust that nobody will take advantage of him. You know, I'm pretty sure we always complain about commuting, the traffic and stuff like that. Imagine him, he's probably traveling 3 hours each and every day. But he did it, you know? So that was that group. I was happy that a lot of our friends joined us, some celebrity friends who really gave great testimonies that are now promoting what JMF does. We also do movie premieres. You know, we did the Wonder Woman premiere. This is Mr. Mark Lester Lico, and it was such a fun event. We tied up with Century City Mall for this. Some of our guests during that event. And we were lucky enough to have New Era sponsor us caps, and we were able to raffle those. This one was very touching. It was a Mother's Day event that we were part of, and we did an exercise where we blindfolded the children. So there is a connection with a mother and child, and we tested it out this way. Before we were on stage, we did it backstage just to make sure that the child, which is, that can see, will really find the mom. And it was so amazing, because all they had to do was touch the face, and then they will say, "This is my mom." It was amazing. And this was more of an awareness tie-up. This mom and daughter here, totally blind. We had the moms mix. You know, every time a child would come on stage, we'll say move places so that, you know, you could totally see that they will find their mom. And Mr. Mark guided her, of course, because she is totally blind. And as soon as she touched her mom on the jaw, she said, "This is her." It was just really amazing to witness something like that. This was also an exciting tie-up with an artist named Amy Bernardo. I met her because she wanted me to help her promote her artwork. And at that time, she had an I-series art that she wanted to promote. And I said, you know what, you can tie up with our foundation. You know, it's James Mackay Foundation with the collaboration for Philippine National School for the Blind. And your I-series would actually do well. And she told me, you know what, Mafae, I've always wanted to do a workshop, art workshop with blind children. And so we had one day with her where she spent with them. This is her right here. And she was trying to figure out how can I determine and express to them what the colors are. So she did research, and I guess internationally they were also doing this. She would put different colors in different shaped containers. So when they touch the container, let's say the circle or a smaller cup, this is that color. And it was amazing because there was a totally blind, and this is a totally blind student. He had such an amazing question, or he asked us, "I want white on my artwork," and we're like, "How do you even know what white is? The color white?" And he said, "I know that the color white means peace, purity, and that's why I want that color part of my artwork." And this is his artwork. He did this abstract painting because Amy Bernardo's technique, or her whole thing, is patak, so meaning it's drops of paint. And as you can see, he did the finishing touch of the white. He did that with his fingers. And so it amazed us on how creative they were and talented. The other painting right there was, I think, was done. I don't have a picture of the student, but that student is, I think, one eye blind. So the students are a mix of different type of levels, and they enjoyed it so much. Amy also enjoyed it so much that she said that she would want to do it frequently, which was amazing because the kids love doing art. Another activity that we did, we brought celebrity basketball players to the province. We have farmers that we also support, and some of these families have PWDs. They have children that have the disabilities. And what's more, I guess, the feeling is more wonderful because in the province they're not educated. There's only one public school for the blind school, and that's the one in Pasay. In the province, there's a lot of families that disregard these kids, their own children, who they keep in just a room in their house because the parents alone do not know what to do with them. So we do works where we reach out to the families there and educate them on the possibilities that we can give to their children. And bringing the celebrities made them so happy because, of course, not every day will you see their idols on TV visit them. So this was a fun time with the farmers that we have in Negros, I believe. Another fun activity that we do is, of course, sports. We tied up with the City Club. This was our first tie-up with them, where we just placed our booth, and it was their yearly badminton tournament. And so we decided to do our own first JMF Badminton for a Cause, where we were so happy with the support of the sponsors during that time. The most my good friend who works for Yonex donated a 30,000 worth badminton racket. I think 2 of them. And so the support is amazing because, you know, these are for us. These experiences are for us, and at the same time with them, all they did was sign up, pay registration, and to them they're just playing badminton. But really, that support or that registration went to the students, to the support of our works. This is a fun music workshop. Actually, Ahmed was one of the teachers, where he even taught my daughter how to play the piano, the keyboard, for the first time, and that was her first time having a recital. So not only are we marketing to adults, we're also reaching out to the children to help what we do for the community there. And then for me, my passion obviously is giving back from my giving back to the youth. And we have a very familiar face who supported my summer modeling workshop. Yes. So I invited mentors who can also inspire the youth that was part of this program. And it was amazing to see the transformation of the youth. For me, my other advocacy is we have a family hashtag is Save Lives Online. And with this generation, everybody is comparing themselves to somebody. Everybody is watching Facebook, Instagram daily, you know, and so we want to tap the generation or the people of today that if you post positive things, you know, it's a domino effect. You know, a lot of my students, I would ask them, who do you look up to? One of them told me Kendall Jenner. And I said, okay, why? Because she's such a great model. And of course, that family is not known to be a positive influence. But to her, I told her, you know, you can be better than her. Because you're here right now trying to improve yourself. And I'm not saying that she's a bad person, but you don't need to really idolize other people. The one person that you have to prioritize is the person in the mirror every time you look at it. And with that, you post, I had them do homework where they post a picture of them every after class, and every class we have a word of the day. And those words were integrity, perseverance, what was the other ones? But imagine an 8-year-old posting his picture and giving his own definition of integrity. It was so amazing, the feedback, and you know, the parents came up to me and said, wow, you've really changed their lives. And I said, you know what? They have changed other people's lives. And so, with that, these are the students are always smiling because we are always there coming back with goodies. You know, telling them and expressing to them that we've done all these events for you, and here you go. For this Christmas, we had vans made for you, which is not, you know, the real thing, but it was good enough. You know, it was good enough for them, and they're so happy with everything we do for them that they give us a show. You'd be surprised. They do the tinikling, am I right? And that's not an easy dance. And they had us try it, and every time my foot will get squashed there. My son also tried it, and he was like, I don't understand, or I don't get how they can have that rhythm, but they can hear. So that's where they get that rhythm. And with this, and I was very happy with this because PTV4 requested to be our partner last year as their gift giving. So without even doing any organizing, they did it all. They brought other groups that wanted to be part of the gift giving for PTV4. I believe that's the Lions Club of Tondo, Manila. And then we also had a pageant, Mr. and Miss Philippines something title that were there, also donating, it was like Colgate, soaps, and things like that. Another group that gave fruits, but this is what makes my heart happy because it really gives evidence that we can spread the word. You know, it's not about just donating money. It's talking about it, having a voice, and this is what you all are doing here right now. And I'm very grateful for you, for President Ivy, for allowing me to be here to share what we do. And if it's not too much, I want to invite Ahmed to the stage just to give you more of a background of what we are doing at the moment.
Hello everyone. I hope it's okay that I'm not expected to speak, so I hope it's okay that I was let it there. Yeah, I think Ms. Maf wanted me to be here to probably explain James Mackay Foundation further. So again, I am Ahmed Davis, and I'm one of the ambassadors and currently the acting head of this foundation. And also for the past few months, I've been active with the activities of Rotary, which is in the side of Makati Century City as a Rotaractor. And by the way, I'm just 22 years old. I don't look like it. I look like a dad already. but I'm 20 years old. I got my mustache there. Hey son. Yeah. So yeah, as a Rotaractor, as I said, I know most of you is pabalik na. Ako papunta pa lang. And for people like you guys, Rotarians, like Miss Mafae, James Mackay, the pioneers of James Mackay Foundation, you have my respect. So thank you. And I'm actually blessed to be part of this circles, James Mackay and Rotary. And before I begin my presentation, to further explain the foundation, one thing that I'm proud of and I'm so passionate about, na part ako ng circles na to, is how we create and prioritize sustainability. So I rather be part of serving one community for a year, teach them, feed them, uplift them, and sustain them, rather than punta ako sa 10 community and maybe after a while leave them hanging. Right? So the sustainability is there. We're creating sustainable service, sustainable commitment. So thank you. I'm amazed from I think 1.2 million Rotaries already across the world. Sabi ni Sir Josh sa Draya. So he was one of our speakers during the Draya. So yeah, just like what Miss Maf said, we have our whys. We want to help people. We want to inspire. We want to be inspired. And then for me, a lot of people will ask me, bakit mo ginagawa yan? At your lunch, I'm not to brag, but I'm just blessed to be part of this community. But for me, it's already my why. You don't ask me why. That's already my why. I wake up in the morning to be inspired and to be an inspiration to help others. So and then after why, there comes our who, our how, or what. So on the JMF part, we have the desire to uplift the life of disabled and less fortunate by bringing them hope and inspiration. So I'm just gonna play a video to explain it better. This is actually a relationship established with the RMC, Rotary Club of Makati Central City, but of course the goal is to tap more guys, the more the merrier, the more network, the faster the cause will be. So please watch.
The year we dared everyone to care. The year we dared to challenge ourselves. The year we made so many hearts happy and placed smiles on others' faces. As we pursue greater heights this 2018, we dare ourselves to act. With the same passion and cause of uplifting the lives of the disabled and less fortunate, Rotary Club of Makati Central City, with the district's trust of adopting a school, decided to collaborate with James Mackay Foundation to build a 2-story training center for the Philippine National School for the Blind. A training center where people with disabilities can hone their skills and have equal opportunities.
With the Rotary Club and the JMA Foundation working side by side, not only do we bring the light of hope, the light of equality, we can bring them permanent employment, an equal status in society, where they can live their dreams, where their hopes are realities.
So there. The door is open for more organizations. So we're just one helping the same cause. So based on my observation, we're very much aligned with our cause. And then of course, That is actually one of our biggest projects this year, to build a 2-story training center. I think the cost is around 4.8 million, and I expect it to be done this year. And then of course, after that, we have our long-term vision. Just like Ms. Maf said, the only public school for the blind is in Pasay. And then of course, we want to replicate that all over the Philippines, so that especially in the province, matulungan talaga natin. And then maybe start a cafe where after we train them in the training center, we can employ them, exactly. So that is the long-term picture of our course. And then, medyo na-explain ni Ms. Maf to, pero I'm just gonna, it's part of my presentation. So just imagine yourself eating your dinner in a totally dark room. So of course it's gonna be hard. But that is just a glimpse of reality to our visually impaired brothers and sisters every single day. So how can I not be grateful for the simple and beautiful things in life? Sometimes we tend to forget the basics, that we're human, we're complete, and we're able. So there, it brings awareness, and of course it raises funds. Every time we're gonna have a blind date, we actually raise 30 to 50,000 pesos, which is added to the fund of the livelihood center. And that's the picture. And then next, another video about blind date, courtesy of PTV4. Is sobrang ganda lang ng pagkaka-cover nila. So if you guys have time to watch, I would appreciate it.
Sa biyahe ng ating buhay, minsan na tayong nasilaw, minsan na tayong napuwing. Pero naranasan mo na ba ang mabulat? So bago kami pumasok dun sa restaurant para tikman yung mga pagkain, magba-blindfold muna kasi ito yung pinaka-essence talaga ng blind date dinner in the dark. Wala kang gagamiting sense of sight para kumain ng mga pagkain. Parang immersion din ito kung paano kumain yung mga kasama natin dun sa Philippine National School for the Blind.
Itong blind date, hindi ito yung parang literal na blind date na you'll be pairing with someone. It's a blind date because it's an idea na we collaborated it to the Philippine National School for the Blind na you will be having a dinner with your family and friends, tapos naka-blindfold kayo in a totally dark room.
For a lot of us, we sort of take our senses for granted, right? Simple things just as walking, being able to blink your eyes, in this case being able to see clearly, all those senses, we should really cherish.
Ang maging bulag ng ilang oras ay talagang napakahirap para sa karamihan. Pero ang mga batang ito ay patuloy na nakangiti sa kabila ng kanilang sitwasyon. Ang hirap niya, actually, parang yung bawat galaw ko, kinakalculate ko, may makukuha ba akong pagkain or what. So, isang learning dito, sobrang blessed talaga natin na may sense of sight tayo. Kasi experiencing this, dama ko yung hirap nila sa pagkain pa lang yan.
Sinasabi ko po sa sarili ko na hindi ako susuko, hindi ako titigil sa pagkanta, hindi ako magsasabi ng hindi ko kaya, kailangan ko tumto pa rin, kailangan kong magdasal sa Diyos.
Bukod po sa gusto ko pong maging mas mahusay pa sa pagtugtog ng mga musical instruments, gusto ko rin pong maging isang radio DJ balang araw. Isang magandang araw po sa ating lahat mga kababayan. Welcome po sa Barangay LS 97.1. Ako nga po pala si Eric Pinilla. Sit back, relax, and listen to the following songs.
Thank you very much! Ang galing! Ang blind date dinner in the dark ay patikim pa lamang kung paano mamuhay ang mga totally blind o visually impaired nating mga kababayan. Wala man silang paningin, maliwanag naman ang kinabukasan kanilang nakikita. Ako po si Diane Carrera para sa Bagong Pilipinas.
So yeah, a lot of us, we have this stereotype mentality that when it comes to blind kids, na ganito na lang, ganito lang kaya nila ma-achieve, but actually they are more than capable, they're talented, they're awesome. I've been with them for already 2 years sa Philippine National School for the Blind. And then nag-blind date na kami with the club, the RMCC, and if we're gonna have a blind date, that would be great. So, yeah. Just talk to Miss Maf about it. And then, not just raising funds or bringing awareness, people are gonna spread the cause. It's like a gospel. So, ito, naging friend namin sila, they visited us. They're parang blind foundation din in Rwanda in Africa. And then after a month, they've been texting us how are we going to facilitate the blind date, and right now they're doing the blind date in Africa. So yeah, the cause is spreading. And it was. This is just gonna be quick, pero other than that, we're doing things in line with our 4 pillars, which is livelihood, education, healthcare, and sports. So basically, halos lahat nasabi naman ni Miss Maf. Just want to add this Mana Plus. It's a multivitamin company na acquired by the foundation. So again, with the sustainability, we want that sustainability. Now, instead of just being a non-profit organization, we are now a corporate foundation who acquires companies that will sustain us. So ito, we created a affordable but quality product that will ibebenta sa Mafae, and then the sales of that, probably 5 to 10% will go back to the foundation. So the cycle, we're helping the community, they're gonna help us back, and then we're gonna help them again. And then sa livelihood, of course, our mother company is Mackay Green Energy. It's renewable energy. There are a lot of byproducts sa MGN. The potential to actually create sustainable jobs all over the Philippines is there. So yun ang sa livelihood. And then of course, the education, part dun yung training center that's a dream actually. Pag natupad yun this year, it's gonna be a dream come true for the foundation. And just to give you a basic statistics, 150 students per year, Filipino for the blind, 7 to 15 to 30 students in senior high, and only 2 to 5 students enter college. So it's gonna be a big endeavor, yung training center na yun, to actually cater some of them na mag-college, magkaroon ng employment, permanent employment. And for the sports, sinabi na mismo kanina, recreational activities all over the Philippines para maging masaya yung farmers natin. Not only better wage or better salary, they can actually have recreational activities. And that's it. Sige na mismo.
That's actually Mr. Ronald, right?
Yeah, Mr. Ronald and Miss Grace. I-discuss na Miss Maf kanina. And then this, nice. Actually, in relation to sustainability, DepEd recently awarded the James Mackay Foundation its sustainable commitment as a partner of Philippine National Schools for the Blind of the Division of City School, Pasay City. So we really don't, it's not that we want this award, it's more of that we're happy because the cause is there, the legacy is there, and it's gonna spread. So yeah, because that's it for me. And congratulations for your successful activities. And congratulations sa newly inducted mga ate and kuya. Thank you, Miss Maf.
So I guess we just leave it to that. We dare to care. We dare to act. And we would like to invite you to join us. Thank you.